Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are back on my free-to-play account. Pretty much the only account I've been playing recently. And to be fair, I've actually been having a little bit of fun on this account. So it is time for me to grind a new line. Now, my first line at the time on my free-to-play account was the Leopard 1 because it was my favorite tank in the game. So I decided to grind the Leopard 1. So once I've done that, it was time to grind the second tier 10, which of course was the E100. Tick, all done, and now we start our third line. So this time I want to make it a bit more difficult, and I've decided to go the Grille line. Now, I love the Grille, I love the waffle, but basically in the whole line, it's really those two tanks that I love, and the rest are not that good, or just tanks. Some of the tanks I absolutely despise, which we will talk about. But pretty much the start of that line, we are playing the tier 5 StuG. So again, when you have been playing the game, and luckily enough I have managed to win a few tier 10s and a few premiums, I'm able to spam them. I'm able to absolutely spam them, get free XP. So really, to be fair, I don't really have to grind too much. So and when you are tier 5, you don't have to grind that much anyway to get the tier 6. Now, unfortunately for the StuG, the tank that leads on from that is the Nashorn. Now, if you was to go the Panzer IV route, obviously it is a completely different tank, the Jaeger at the end of it. The Panzer IV in tier 6 is brilliant, so there's something to play for. But with this one, the Nashorn, I don't think is a great tank, but of course we will get to the Nashorn in the coming days. But the StuG itself, it is a tier 5. Actually, to be fair, it's not a bad tank. It does suffer when it comes to armor profile, but the DPM, the speed of the thing, I think is both pretty good. So as you can see, the armor is only 86 millimeters, so not great at all. The DPM 1644 is pretty decent for a tier 5 tank. That is just a 5.8 second reload. Now you've got 150 AP pen, 194 on your APCR, and 40 on your HE. Now bear in mind, we're running this with calibrated, with the rammer, so we're just giving it a bit more DPM rather than the penetration. So yeah, I mean, either way you can run it with what you want. You have 160 alpha, 135 on your APCR, and 200 on your HE. Your aim time is 3.2, and your gun dispersion is 0.312, and you've got 7 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour. So yeah, stat wise, apart from the armor profile, is actually a pretty solid tier 5 tank, as long as you don't get shot. So really the aim of this tank is to sort of be a tank destroyer, and maybe later on in the game, then you can use your speed to run around and pick up the damage. Now this game here, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't got the shakes for so long. Like, I haven't been in that kind of battle where I've got the shakes for so long. And I know it's a tier 5 game, but I had the shakes at the end of this. I almost messed it up. I've almost screwed it up. But luckily I managed to finish the job. So we are up against tier 6s, and straight away on this map I'm going to straight away go to this this section here, which everybody goes to when you're in a tank destroyer. The same on the other side of the map, which hopefully we're going to probably give it a little blind shot. Again, I always do this when there's tank destroyers on the enemy team. I always give that position a little blind shot, but stupidly, as I did take the shot, I got myself spotted from that Sherman. Now we do get a lucky bounce at 160, but we did take a shot from that Sherman, and he's going to sit there and be very annoying because he's actually in a good position because his turret is actually quite strong for a tier 5 tank. So very, very frustrating. And the only thing again with lower tier tanks is you don't have the hit points, and you've got to remember that you don't have the hit points to last a long time. Now luckily for me, I've managed to bounce 320 alpha. If I wouldn't have bounced that, I'd be on a one shot already. So you do have to bear that in mind, that you just don't have the hit points at this early on in the in the tech tree, so you do have to be very, very careful and not rush in as you normally would, because of course higher tiers you can take a few shots, you've got more hit points, you can take a few shots, but these lower tiers especially, I know the alpha's lower, but I've only taken I've taken one shot and I've blocked two, so that's 3 shots that I could have potentially been dead, or at least 60 hit points left. So you do have to bear that in mind. Now I know a lot of people don't play these lower tiers, they maybe use free XP, and that's absolutely fine, you know, and it is a shame, because, you know, I used to love playing lower tiers. I think they are very, very fun, especially when you are on a new account, because of course you're coming up against newer people. A lot of people probably really don't know how to play the game, so when you are on a reroll, it does become a lot easier to deal with. So so far now it is a 4 versus 3, so we are in the lead and everything is still to play for, but there is still a lot of hit points left to deal with. Now luckily I do become behind the KV-1S, but sadly I only get the 1 shot in, so I can't really do any more damage. Now I know there is a tank destroyer, so I want to go and look for that tank destroyer, because it's a 3 versus 3 at the minute. I don't really have the hit points. That guy over there, the SU, is now on his own, and the T1 Heavy, I need to really rely on the T1 Heavy. He's got the armor, he's got the hit points, and I need to sort of work as well as I can with that T1 Heavy. Now at this point I'm hoping that he actually comes to help me to deal with this Jackson. He's a tier 6 tank destroyer, he's got the speed, he's got a little bit of armor, and of course he's got the DPM. And now it is a 2 versus 2, so we could easily lose this game, like so easy. So I have to be very careful, and you know, the T1 Heavy, he's full hit points. As soon as he goes forward, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go with you. If you're going to push, I'm going to go with you, because as soon as the Jackson shoots you, I want to be there to get the shot off. And then unfortunately the KV-1S then comes behind us, so I need to try and take care of this guy. Luckily for me, the T1 Heavy does shoot him the same time, brings him down to a 1 shot, and we can now take him out. But now we are both a 1 shot against this KV-1S. Now hopefully he doesn't go for me, he goes for the T1 Heavy, which he does. I stupidly miss my first shot, like that could be everything, and then I only track him on my second shot. Now the thing with the KV-1S, the DPM is not great, so now it is just a matter of, have I got time to reload the 3rd shell before he reloads 1 shell? Luckily, yes I do. So I managed to do over 2,000 damage. Now in a tier 5 tank, that is still a very good job to do that amount of damage in a tier 5 tank. Was it enough for a mastery badge? Nowhere freaking near. A class 2, like, are people really performing that well on a StuG, like a StuG, however you want to say it? I thought, you know what, that was a pretty good job, and I felt I should have deserved a mastery badge, but it wasn't to be. Now after that, I managed to, you know, I've had a good game, I've got the XP, I can now get the tier 6 tank, which of course is the Nashorn. So the next video on my free-to-play account, we will be playing the Nashorn, where things start to go down whilst you go up the line. So look out for that. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think of the Grille line. What is your favorite tank in the line, and is there any of them that you absolutely cannot stand? Because there is 2 of them in this line that I really cannot stand. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.